So you want to buy a 3D printer, but you're not sure why? Let me help. What's up guys, Rab here. Now that I'm back in my comfy chair, let's talk about 3D printers. So a couple of weeks ago I bought a 3D printer. I bought the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro and the Mercury Plus curing washing station to go with it. Now this isn't a sponsored post, I bought it with my hard earned money. I earned money. Since I first showed off my 3D printer, I've been inundated with people asking me if they can buy things off me, asking me to make things for them, tell me how much they want to buy a 3D printer themselves. So that's why I made the video. Should I buy a 3D printer? Should I buy a 3D printer? Should you buy a 3D printer? It's for you. Should you buy a 3D printer? So this video is aimed at miniature painters and tabletop gamers. I'm sure there's other groups that may want or need a 3D printer for whatever reason, but I'm speaking to the painters and the gamers. Now, before you do anything, please do your research, and I don't mean just watch this video. And whatever you do, please don't tell your partners that this video convinced you to buy one. I'm still trying to convince my girlfriend it was a good idea. So what benefits are there to owning a 3D printer? Well, firstly, as a painter, it massively increases the number of cool things you can paint. No longer are you restricted to what you can find in your local game store or on Amazon. There are hundreds of independent artists and companies on websites such as My Manufacturing or Patreon selling their files for 3D printed sculpts that you can download and print off to your heart's content. There's also a massive accessibility option. It really opens the door for people who maybe cannot get to their local game store as easy as others. Being able to print off whatever I wanted to paint was a massive deciding factor in getting a 3D printer for me. But what about price? How much is all of this going to cost you? Here's the current listing on Amazon for the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. There are other printers, this is the one that I bought, and it's perfect for the job. It's slightly under £200, but the price has been going up and down. I also bought the Elegoo Mercury Plus, which is a washing and curing station. With these two, you've pretty much got everything you need, apart from the resin. Now the resin, the price fluctuates a lot. It's generally between 30 and 35, sometimes as much as 40. This is the current price. Now I'll put links for all of this in the description. There will be Amazon affiliate links, so they help the channel at no additional cost to you. So you've bought a kilogram bottle of resin. How much can you actually get out of that? Now, I haven't made anything in standard tabletop 32mm size, and I've lost a lot of resin to failed prints, which is another cost you need to add in for maybe your first bottle or so. But I've seen a number of people online saying they can make anywhere between 40 and 50 miniatures with that one bottle. So for comparison, this Ragnar Blackmane, which I bought from the Games Workshop website, cost me £27.50. That's almost as much as a bottle of resin. And I've still not painted it. This Lord of Virulence, which I did paint, cost me £24 from the Games Workshop website. I'll let you do the math. So yeah, if you plan on painting a lot of models over a long period of time, you're going to offset some of the huge costs at the beginning for buying the 3D printer and the curing station. You'll notice how I'm only talking about this in terms of painting and not gaming. This is where the video gets a little bit serious and maybe a little bit boring. Now we have to talk about intellectual property and copyright laws. And if you've seen any of my previous videos on DMCA, you'll understand this is kind of interesting to me. So these models are the intellectual property of Games Workshop, and as such we can't just print off hundreds of them and sell them for profit. We could argue all day about the ethics of stealing from a corporate mega giant like Games Workshop, but at the end of the day I believe it's still theft. Now most tournaments have rules allowing you to play with proxies or 3D printed models, and if you're playing against your friends in a basement or a local tournament, people probably aren't going to complain. But if you rock up to a Games Workshop or Warhammer store to enroll in an official tournament, you might get sent home. So in my opinion, if you play Warhammer solely to play the game, stick to official models. So what about other tabletop games? Well, as a DM, having a 3D printer can really help level up games of D&D. Using a 3D printer, you can print off things such as monsters, player characters, magical items, scenery, or even just more dice. Because after all, who doesn't need more dice? So those are all the factors that went into buying a 3D printer for me as a budding painter and tabletop gamer. I still absolutely love my printer and I'm so excited to see what I can do with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you're tempted to buy one. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, take care.